What if I told you the WNBA's most dangerous player isn't who you think it is? While everyone's watching Caitlin Clark drop threes, there's someone else on that court with a black belt in violence and zero tolerance for disrespect. Sophie Cunningham just shattered the internet after going full assassin mode, and what happened next has the entire league shaking. But here's the twisted part nobody's talking about. This woman has been hiding a martial arts background that would make UFC fighters nervous. The Connecticut Sun thought they could bully Caitlin Clark like every other team has been doing all season. They had no idea they were about to meet their worst nightmare in a ponytail. When Sophie finally snapped, it wasn't just a basketball play. It was a declaration of war that sent shockwaves through social media and had fans demanding she get banned from the league entirely. JC Sheldon thought she could get away with another cheap shot on Clark. She poked Caitlin right in the eyeball during what should have been a routine defensive play, then stayed in her face like some kind of intimidation tactic. That's when Marina Mabrey decided to join the party, shoving Clark to the floor like she was trying out for the NFL. The refs, they did absolutely nothing. Again, Clark even got a technical foul for defending herself, while the real aggressors walked away clean. But nobody told Sophie Cunningham that this was just another night of "let's abuse the rookie." The second she saw Clark hit the ground, something primal activated in Sophie's brain. This wasn't basketball anymore. This was personal. And that's when the Connecticut Sun learned why you never, ever mess with someone who's been training for moments like this since she was 6 years old. Here's the bombshell that changes everything about Sophie Cunningham. This woman earned her black belt in Taekwondo when she was just 6 years old, making her the youngest black belt in Missouri history at the time. While other kids were learning to tie their shoes, Sophie was perfecting kicks that could end careers. Her parents thought they were signing her up for discipline and focus. They accidentally created the WNBA's most lethal enforcer. The martial arts training explains everything about her court presence. That calculated aggression, that's 15 years of muscle memory. The way she reads body language and positions herself for maximum impact, pure combat instinct. Sophie doesn't just play basketball. She's applying tactical warfare principles every time she steps on that court. Other players see a teammate, but Sophie sees potential threats that need to be neutralized. When Sophie made her move on Sheldon, it wasn't random violence. It was precision striking, disguised as a basketball play. She wrapped up Sheldon with the kind of technique that would make MMA coaches proud, then took her to the ground with enough force to send a message to every player watching. The footage shows Sophie could have ended that fight in seconds if she wanted to, but she held back just enough to stay within the gray area of basketball rules. The aftermath was pure chaos. Social media exploded with footage of Sophie standing over Sheldon like some kind of basketball Terminator. Fans immediately started calling her the enforcer Clark never knew she needed, while haters began circulating petitions to have Sophie banned from the league for excessive violence. But here's what nobody expected. Sophie's jersey sales went through the roof overnight, proving that fans are starved for someone who won't back down. The most insane part, Sophie posted a cryptic message from the locker room before the game even ended, basically letting everyone know this was just the beginning. She wasn't apologizing or trying to calm things down. She was doubling down on her new role as the league's most feared protector. That post went viral faster than any highlight reel, with millions of views and thousands of comments from fans begging her to keep defending Clark. But there's a darker story here that nobody wants to acknowledge. The reason Sophie had to step up isn't because she's naturally violent. It's because the WNBA refs have completely failed to protect their biggest star. Clark has been getting targeted all season with cheap shots, hard fouls, and blatant disrespect, while officials look the other way or somehow penalize her for being the victim. The league's golden goose is getting abused nightly, and the people in charge are pretending it's just physical basketball. The conspiracy runs deeper than bad officiating, though. Veteran players are openly resentful of Clark's popularity and the attention she brings to the league. They see her as an outsider who didn't pay her dues the way they did, so they've collectively decided to make her rookie season as miserable as possible. What they didn't account for was Sophie Cunningham deciding that enough was enough and taking matters into her own hands. Sophie's transformation from role player to league enforcer happened overnight, but it's been building all season. Every uncalled foul on Clark, every cheap shot that went unpunished, every time the refs swallowed their whistles, Sophie was taking notes. She watched her teammate get disrespected game after game while the league did nothing, and she finally reached her breaking point. Now, she's appointed herself as Clark's personal bodyguard, and the results are terrifying. The scariest part for opposing teams. Sophie is just getting started. She's figured out that fans love the enforcer role. Her teammates respect her for standing up, and the league can't stop her without looking like they're protecting the bullies. Every team that plays Indiana now has to game plan for two different threats: Clark's shooting and Sophie's retaliation. One wrong move toward the rookie sensation, and you're dealing with a black belt who's been waiting her whole life for permission to use those skills. What happens next could change the entire culture of the WNBA. If Sophie keeps protecting Clark with this level of intensity, other stars might start demanding their own enforcers. Teams could start recruiting players specifically for their intimidation factor rather than basketball skills. The league that's been trying to clean up its image might be heading toward an era where fights become part of the entertainment value. For now, though, Sophie Cunningham has sent a crystal clear message to every player in the league. Touch Caitlin Clark and face the consequences. She's not asking for permission, she's not waiting for official protection, and she's definitely not backing down. The WNBA's most dangerous secret weapon is hiding in plain sight, wearing number 6 for Indiana, and she's just getting warmed up. The question isn't whether Sophie will strike again, it's whether anyone is brave enough to test her. Because next time, she might not hold back quite as much, and the martial arts skills she's been hiding could turn a basketball court into something much more dangerous. The WNBA wanted drama and excitement. They just got more than they bargained for, with Sophie Cunningham leading the charge.